I am Nicole from Rewind and Review, and today I'm here to do a recap and review of Powers Book 2, Ghost Season 1, Episode 8, Family First. Now, if I had to rate this episode, y'all, I'm going to give it all 5 stars because this was probably my most favorite episode of this season. If you like Power and are new to my channel, welcome, welcome, welcome me, welcome you. Make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button below. Comment your thoughts and your theories of the episode and what you think will happen later on down the line in future episodes. And to my old couch potatoes, let's get to it. Okay, so it's homecoming weekend. Everybody knows that if nothing else is popping on college camping, homecoming weekend is always gonna be popping. So y'all, our boys are still a little low on product, and Brayden is trying to convince Tariq that they need to dibble and dabble and introduce Coke to their customers. So y'all, Tariq shoots it down, and he's like, he's telling Brayden, look, man, we need to stick with what we know. We don't know shit about cutting up, weighing up, no bricks. So y'all, it looks like Stanfield is like to kill two birds in one stone. They're combining their parent and family weekend with homecoming weekend. So the parents are there attending classes and visiting campuses. And so, y'all, the weekend is super busy. So now we're in class, and pretty much we see everyone's parents there, but Tariq's, of course. And so Jabari wouldn't be his annoying self if he didn't pick up on our boy on some kind of way. So he asks him some question about the Invisible Man. I'm like, oh, I remember reading this in like 11th grade or something like that. But y'all, Jabari, as we know, is just obsessed with Tariq and wants to know more and become more intrigued with Tariq's life. The more he opens up his mouth about every word he read, it's just he's obsessed. So y'all, he thinks it's personal with Tariq and saying he's trying to dig deeper, y'all. And I just really want his irrelevant ass to disappear. He irritates my spirit because he really using Tariq for his content of his book, and I just cannot wait for Tariq to get all of his royalties or in a position to blackmail him, y'all. Because I just really cannot stand him. So now we're with 2Bit, who has gone to visit Lunell, aka Spanky's mama, and of course we know Spanky was the rat, and 2Bit had to go and I guess see what the word was on the street and what she knows. And y'all, he gives her some money. And y'all, that's that. And so, all right, we're with Professor Milgram. And y'all, she's going to have to get our boy in check, y'all. He is whipped, y'all, and I am laughing. He's randomly visiting her on campus. He's calling her Gary. I'm like, boy, go on, y'all. So he's claiming that he's nervous for the game because some scout is coming. And basically, he just wanted to come visit our girl on campus because he is whipped. So now we're with Tariq and Lauren, whose mom needs to get cursed out, talking about, so sad to see you alone, Tariq. Your mom didn't get granted permission out for this weekend. So he's like, no, but she'll be out real soon for good. So Lauren is in love with our boy, y'all. She invites him to lunch with her parents. So Tariq like, let me grab something from my room. And of course, Lauren follows because she's trying to figure out what is up with Tariq and why he really moving the way he's moving to the rhythm of his beat and not hers. And so Tariq is like, look, you broke up with your dude, and y'all, there's a knock at the door, and guess who it is? Effie. And y'all, Lauren low-key makes herself look like the word ass and assume because she automatically assumes Tariq's behavior was over Effie and throwing shots talking about, I see what the other night was about, doesn't look like it was worth it, and walks out. And y'all, I'm like, wait, Lauren, don't be that stuck-up bitch now thinking that you're top tier because you're making yourself look jealous, and like Carrie Hilson said, that's the ugliest trait. So Effie is there attending homecoming weekend for her school, who's the rival. So y'all, she is with the shit, and she wants Tariq to give her the game to team up and sell coke on this busy money making weekend. So Tariq is like, nah, I'm out the game. I don't do this anymore. And so y'all, Lauren is now walking with her family outside, and y'all, 2Bit runs into them, and he's talking about he's looking for his cousin Tariq. And y'all, Lauren provides him with just too much information. I'm like, bitch, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Okay, so now we're with Jabari, who is meeting up with, I guess, his publishing manager, and the manager seems to really be falling into the story of this drug dealing family, but he needs more, and he needs to know how this story is going to end, but it is definitely a seller, so he needs more content. And so 2B has pulled down on our boy Tariq, y'all, talking about he has come to collect his debt that Ghost promised him, and y'all, Tariq, he pays attention to details in his surroundings, and this episode was just lets us know. So he lets 2B know that he has Ghost Why? Tell him, he ain't got the money, but he can have it by the end of the week. And 2B is like, no, tomorrow. And Tariq's phone, takes Tariq's phone, programs his number, and tells him, get when I call you tomorrow, have my shit. So now our boy has to figure out what to do because he needs bread, and y'all, he needs it fast. So y'all, I don't know why Tariq thought this was going to be able to work, that he was going to be able to dibble and dabble in his inheritance, and y'all, it just doesn't work. But he has to team up with Effie. So he calls Tasha, y'all, to get advice on basically how to get someone to trust them again. And she has to tell him pretty much what she did for James. And y'all, Tariq ass is just smooth as hell, and he has game. He's done convinced Effie and has taught her basically how to trap around campus. But he shows her how to run the campus, but not course connect. So pay attention to. Alright, so now we're with Brayden and family, y'all. Tracy's nose starts bleeding at the table, and his sister is higher than a kite. And so Brayden finds out that the powder is being moved on campus, and y'all, I'm like, please don't link this to Tariq. So now we're back with Jabari, who is now acting like he is the district attorney, trying to dig up Tariq's life for his book. And I just hope before the book comes out that Tariq will find out and that he is using him for his content. And I don't know what I want to happen to Jabari, but I just know I don't want him on this show. He can go. He's irrelevant. Alright, now we're with Kane and some GTG members, and y'all, Kane has officially took it too far. There is really something wrong with him. I really don't understand why he doesn't like Tariq, and definitely doesn't see how he doesn't see this as his family's business expanding, and how Tariq is not going to take over the corners of Brooklyn. But y'all, anyway, Kane is trying to off Tariq, and he wants Tariq killed. And so Kane is childish. He tells young Guwap how, Tariq has been talking about GTG or whatever, and he elects this member of the gang to go and off Tariq. So they paint his face, make it look like he's a student who attends the school. And so y'all, Monet and Carrie meet, and I am tripping because y'all, our boy Zeke is whipped, and he wants to really introduce her as Carrie. But y'all, Professor Milgram is not trying to meet Monet. She quickly introduces herself and quickly gets on down. And y'all, Monet, old nosy ass, is peeping game and you can see it like all over her face. She know what's up. So Brayden has caught up with Tariq to let him know that weight is being moved around this campus, and they need to find out who is moving it. And Brayden instantly is like, it's Effie, and Tariq lets him know that it is not Effie. And we all know that, it's him and Effie, but Tariq is Tariq. He's smooth as hell. He plays it off and try to get Brayden's mind off of it. So now we're at the game, and y'all, I'm just so excited that Tariq pays attention to his surroundings. When he noticed the little GTG dude's shoes, and also how he is staring at him, I'm like, yeah, our boy got this in the bag. He not about to get off. So Tariq is at the game, and he's sitting with Zeke's family, and he about to go to the concession stand. Y'all want something? And everybody was like, nah, but Kane, who wants to give this old ugly trifling ass order, and smirking because he think that this boy is about to off Tariq because he tells him to do it when he is alone. So, of course, Tariq is aware of his surroundings and notices that the old boy is pretty much following him. And next thing we know, he is sprinting after him. And y'all, Tariq ducks off into the pool area, so he and the GTG member are running that way, and the whole time, y'all, they are tussling. I'm like, why didn't Ghost and Tasha invest in their kids in karate? Because Tariq does not have hands, y'all. But he texts 2B and tell him, to meet him in the pool area. And y'all, Too Big gets there in time. He hits the dude in the head. You know, he drowns the dude, and so there's a message that comes to the him like, did you off him yet? And y'all, Too Big sends the picture of him drowned in the pool and sends that as a response. So y'all, Tariq gives Too Big the money. And Too Big is like, no, you owe me more. I just helped save your life. And now I'm like, now Too Big, now you running out. Like, leave Tariq alone. Team up with him or something, but leave him alone. He don't owe you anything. Count that 24K and saving his life, because I don't really have nothing. He don't really have nothing to do with ghosts. But so y'all, now Tariq has returned and he wants to know who is out for him. And Kane ass is sitting there and shocked that Tariq is the one to walk in and not the dude. And y'all, Kane receives a text messages from Little Guap, like, with the picture of dude saying, I'm gonna clip you. So y'all, Kane has to excuse himself and call their phone to tell whoever this is that I'm going to kill you when I find you, and not knowing that it's Tariq who has the phone. Y'all, I'm just happy as hell that Tariq knows that it was Kane. Like, I'm just happy that he got the tea. Alright, so the block is hot. Tariq has to cancel his plans with Effie. And Effie thinks that she has been played. That Tariq is with Lauren, and she couldn't wait to just blab off to the mouth to Brayden, talking too much. His sister comes up, pretty much confirms that Effie is the coke seller, and so Effie is hot. She lets Brayden know that she has been played by Tariq, and hell, lets Brayden know too by dry snitching about selling with Tariq. And now I'm like, Tariq, why do you keep choosing to lie to Brayden? Like, I know you cannot trust people, but you're going to have to give Brayden a little bit more info than you be giving him. Like, he ain't going to be a member of your team anymore if you keep this up. And so, you got to stop lying about the coming up with the money for the lawyer. So, like, it's just not working. And y'all, I'm really irritated with how the women in this episode act. They really acted off emotion. Effie and Lauren, this episode were highly in their feelings. Alright, speaking of feelings, y'all, Drew Hayes is all up in his feelings as well. And y'all acting like he just cannot understand Everett's wish and concerns of not being out. So he calls Everett's phone only to get ignored, hit on him. And y'all, he is very femaleish if you ask me. He turns around and calls Zeke. He is trying to figure out where his man is. So it's very clear that Drew is trying to be with his man. And y'all, Zeke lets him know that if you can get away from Monet, come on. And y'all, we all know that Drew would find a way to get away from Monet so he can get a little play. So, y'all, we see Zeke is having a good time. He vibing, y'all. The ladies are pretty much throwing themselves at him. And, y'all, he politely passes them to his friends, y'all. He is whipped. And, y'all, Everett is not interested in a girl as he is trying to play like he don't want it, but the teammate like jokes him out like, you ain't been getting no cooter all season. I'm like, really? Are y'all really sitting up there watching like who get what cooter? So y'all, Everett is like, he goes off with the girl. Him and Drew end up making this eye contact, and he lets Drew pretty much know like, meet me over there. So y'all, the second time Everett this is the second time Everett has to tell him, you know, that he's not with their lifestyle. Like, my family's not yours. I'm trying to get in the league, y'all, but Drew ass is just so whipping, y'all. I'm tripping at the little hug that he gave Drew. Like, Drew, just find you a man who is okay with being out. There are plenty out there. So, y'all, they have just left the club now, walking, and y'all, little Guap has found Monet's prized possession, and it's like everyone knows Zeke is the family's prized possession, and how if anything was to happen to him, Monet would go crazy. So it's clear as well that Zeke didn't even didn't have the street life that Monet gave Kane and Drew and Diana and y'all. So he's took down by Little Guwap, and Little Guwap has this gun to Zeke's knee. And at this point, I'm just yelling at the TV like, please don't do it. Like, and so of course Drew steps in and he's like, look at me and, you know, take me. And so he was like, no, I'm going to take Monet's prized possession, not her little faggot son. And so, y'all, that's all it took for Drew. So Drew goes and tears him up. He finds out that Kane has to do with this GTG hit. And so, y'all, he goes home and he tells Monet what happens, y'all. He takes the blame for it. He doesn't throw Kane under the bus, y'all. And I have just gained so much more respect for him these last two episode. He's not as soft as I thought he was. Drew is definitely the title of this episode, Family First. He clearly put his family first to the line of Zeke. He clearly put his family in the first, like with decisions that he make throughout this season. So y'all, Drew is getting kudos from me, okay? All right, so now we're with Drew and Kane, and Drew lets Kane know what is up. He has his back, and don't worry about it. Just make sure that you take care of GTG. And so Tariq calls Tasha. He's like, look, Ma, I almost got killed out here, and gives her a rundown. And she tells Tariq, you have to be straight up with me and tell me what's going on. So Tasha has came up with that it's the family that he's working for, and has Lorenzo to text her. And so I'm tripping because he has to let her know, like, this not how the game works. You don't tell me to text you. And y'all, she gives him a little rundown of what took place. So I'm like, Kane has really messed up this time with his shenanigans. It has gotten back to Lorenzo, and Tasha lets him know that, you know, if something happens to mine, best believe that something is going to happen to yours. So, of course, Lorenzo hits up Monet, and she is able to put two and two together, knowing that it has to be Kane who put out the hit on Tariq. So Drew once again is taking up for Kane, and how Kane is going to take care of GTG, and Monet has to let him know that that will be the last thing that he ever does for this family. So I'm like, oh, you done kicked out your whole son out of this family, but we can't even lie. Kane's jealousy got the best of him, got him moving very crazy. So Kane, I just want to know, why do you hate Tariq so much? So, y'all, Kane has showed up to GCG territory, and it's nothing to him. He kills off two with no problem, but he allows little Guap to live and tell him how whatever he makes, basically, he get him half. He partnering with him in GTG, and I'm like, good, because you're going to need it, because, baby, you have been kicked out of your family. Also, we need to pay attention to the fact that, y'all, Kane at this time doesn't know that he is kicked out of the family. So he was also sent on this mission to get everybody who was involved with Zeke, and he allows little Guwap to live, who basically was the main one with the gun to Zeke's knee. So we just letting us know that Kane is very narcissistic. Like, I don't know if I'm saying the word right, but y'all, he does not care. So Zeke is hurt and has showed up early to Professor Milgram's house, and y'all, first, she was like, she wasn't gonna let him in, but y'all, he threw on them little tears, and up to that apartment he went. So now we're with Kane, who has come to the house to let them know that he has taken out GTG, which we all know is a lie. So y'all, Diana tells him, you know, through the door, standing in the doorway, pretty much blocking Kane's entry, that you heard about Zeke. And he was like, yeah, I didn't send GTG out for Zeke. And she was like, yeah, but you did for Tariq. And has to let him know that, you know, he's no longer welcome. So, y'all, the only thing registered in his head was y'all are choosing Tariq over me. Diana has to quickly let him know that it's not about that. It's about you putting this family at danger. So, y'all, he like, I just killed the niggas who did that to Zeke, and now I'm yelling at the TV like, no, you didn't. The main one who had the gun to his knee, you left alive, and he is walking. But y'all, Diana gives him a bankroll and tells him to get out of the city. Kane looks up into Monet's window, y'all, and she closes that curtain on him, y'all, and he disrespectfully spits on that floor. It was just disgusting. I really hate globs that spit like that. All right, so now we're with Tariq and Brayden, and Brayden has been ignoring some of Tariq's calling. So Brayden calls Tariq out about lying and about Neffy and about him working with her. And so Tariq basically comes up with as many excuses. I'm like, dude, you're going to have to tell him the truth. But Brayden is like, stop lying to me. Stop bringing up all that bull about a lawyer and saying that he's done, y'all. Brayden is done, and he walks out. And so, y'all, Professor Reynolds, I just hate him, y'all. He's beginning to download the out course correct, y'all. And I'm like, yeah, now he's barking up the wrong damn tree. Now he's entering himself in some shit that he just don't know. So now we're with Tariq and Monet, y'all. And Tariq, y'all, he is fly. And Monet lets him know the game. Kane is out of the family. That it's whatever between him and Kane. Defend yourself. Do what you gotta do. But if I find out that you were out hunting for my son, then it's over for you. So, but I'm like, how can you say that when your son literally just had a hunt out for him? Like they literally was hunting for him at this game. Like I'm just confused, but I guess that's how the game goes, and that's why I'm not in the streets life. Okay, but y'all, this episode, this was the best one this season. This was the best one this season. Make sure that you like and comment and subscribe below, and stay tuned for next week.